Hello, how's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. It is Monday the 26th of May. Sun is shining, kid you not, sun is shining, everything is happening, but of course the life surrounding Arsenal doesn't stop. First things first, I hope everyone's had a fantastic week, start of the week at least, Monday, not the easiest day to start, obviously with the new work week, but hopefully everyone's feeling great, everyone's feeling fantastically well. Today on the agenda, what we're gonna do? We're gonna look at some transfer news, obviously, but afterwards, what we're gonna do is do a traditional Arsenal keep, loan, and sell. Basically, what we're gonna do over this, what we're gonna do in this stream, we're gonna look at Arsenal's current squad, and we're gonna talk about the fact would we want this player to be sold, to be loaned out, or to be kept with that squad, of course. So, if you could do me a favor, smash the thumbs up if you haven't already. Like it, caress it, destroy it, hammer it, however you want to do it. Subscribe if you are new around here. Road to 600 is going very, very strong, and up to 1k as well. Lots of brilliant things happening, not gonna lie, in this life, I kid you not. By the way, leave your thoughts down in the live chat so we can tackle them and discuss them. But I must say, first things first, before we dive into transfers, and then we're gonna do the tier list, we're gonna go it like that. I just wanted to say thank you. Genuinely, from bottom of my heart, I just wanted to say deep thank you for, well, everything. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to say thank you for everything, because I have started daily to upload YouTube shorts, and your support has been phenomenal. The likes, the views, everything has been off the charts, to say the least. On top of that, again, a massive thank you for everyone who is commenting, who is tuning in daily, subscribing, because if you have noticed, and I'm just putting it out there because I want to celebrate this achievement to some extent, I never thought I would hit 500 subscribers. I never thought I would go past that. I'm not at the moment, of course, aiming to 1,000 subscribers before the next season kicks off, right? So since we have passed 500 subscribers, YouTube actually has allowed me to monetize some stuff on this channel, which is absolutely nuts. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying you have to donate or anything. I'm just saying that thank you for this opportunity. And the third thing, which is arguably very insane, yesterday I also uploaded a TikTok, Mr. Robo19 TV. If you want, you can go follow me there as well. Yesterday I had my first TikTok go viral. And today as well. I would say viral as I classify it for me personally, because currently, as I am live right now, if I go on my TikTok and I look at the TikTok which I uploaded yesterday, it currently sits on 21,500 views, 800 nearly likes, 90 comments, or something insane like that. So thank you everyone who has commented, who has liked it, who has shared it around, because for me those are mind-blowing numbers. My TikToks usually get to 300 views max, on occasion 500, up to that. But this was the first one who has gotten to 21,500, so you can imagine my shock when I actually hit it. Genuinely insane, to say the least. So massive thank you for that. Massive thank you for your support, and I'm not gonna lie, enough of this CC marshmallow stuff. Let's get into Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of confused myself. Big up no one, hope you're doing well. Garnacho, he's leaving you, right? No one is United fan, no mind. As long as he doesn't join Arsenal, because I've seen Garnacho being linked with Arsenal. Don't want to see that whatsoever, not sure why. This summer, we'll see, he's linked with Napoli, maybe he goes there. And Atletico Madrid, by the way. Big up Gunner81, big up, hope you're doing well today. Thank you, genuinely thank you. And to be honest, everything like where I am right now is because of you. So thank you so much for your support. And today we're gonna kick things off with this. Not sure what to make of it, but here we go. Apparently Al Hilal have made a clear promise to Inzaghi. If you didn't know, Al Hilal are trying to recruit Simone Inzaghi from Inter Milan. And they have said that he's going to get full backing on transfers, project vision, and financial terms. Simeone obviously hasn't responded as of yet because he has Champions League final against PSG on Saturday. And his focus only is on that. But the pressure from Saudi club is very, very strong. I get that Saudis are in for him. Al Hilal want to sign him mostly because, let's be real, they are looking in for a new manager and everything. However, I'm more interested why Arsenal are not in for Inzaghi, because at some point in our lives, Arteta will have to go, and we will need to have a proper replacement. And I think Inzaghi would be the prime option to that. If you compare salaries, for example, at the moment between Inzaghi and Arteta, Inzaghi gets paid 3 times less than Mikel Arteta, by the way, which seems nuts, which seems insane, but hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. So I'm kind of interested why Arsenal are not in for him. That for me is the biggest question. Moving on, well, if you are an NBA fan, this is something unique. NBA conference finals happened yesterday, the third game between Knicks and Pacers, obviously in Pacers Arena. And this was the board parking lot put out for the game. Playoff parking. Pacers fans, $20 an hour. Knicks fans, $100 an hour. Hey, whatever you do to make the money, huh? Whatever you have to do to make the money. Top tier banter, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, Fabrizio Romano has talked about Victor Gyökeres and his future. Well, Gyökeres has said this basically. It's impossible to say. We never know what will happen in football. Arsenal links, I don't know anything. My focus was on the games. If the links were true, then well, we will see in the summer. And let's be real, he knows about Arsenal, he knows about links, and he knows that he's gonna leave, if he's gonna leave Sporting or not. Because this is basically by PR 101 what every single player says when there are massive links about him. When the player is in demand by bigger clubs, when the season is still happening for the specific player. So don't take this with anything, just go with the flow. However, there are some positive news. Obviously, since United lost the Europa League, any potential move from Manchester United to sign Gyökeres is practically off the table, which is nice. It should have been in general, but which is also very nice to see in that regard. Big up yous. Big up. Hope you're doing well today. Hope the checks went well as well. Hope you're feeling great as well today. And I'm not gonna lie, can't wait for Wednesday. Kid you not, can't wait for Wednesday, 8 p.m. UK time on Wednesday on Views on Sport channel. We're gonna have Under the Lens, where basically it's gonna be him and me, where we're basically gonna talk about how I became an Arsenal fan and my current assessment of Arsenal's current state, situation, what needs to be changed, and all that stuff. So, if you haven't already, go subscribe to Views on Sport. Top guy, top lad, top Arsenal fan, not a top gooner, so thumbs up for that. And definitely go. He pumps out content 2-3 times daily. He streams and does everything, so definitely go subscribe to him. I'm looking forward to that as well. Genuinely looking forward to that as well. I'm also looking forward to see what Maddie says about Maddie and everything. He is just a machine in that regard, being an Arsenal fan from USA. Anyways, in some other news, Arsenal apparently have joined Bayern Munich in the race to sign Brighton midfielder Kaoru Mitoma. Now, for me, the biggest question is, in which universe Mitoma is a midfielder if he plays left wing? That's the first case, but we gonna allow it for the sake of an argument, right? However, how much would you think he's gonna be worth? That is the biggest question, because there were some reports a few days ago regarding the fact that he could be available for Bayern Munich for about 40 million. Last January, they rejected bid of about 70-80 million from Saudi. So I assume the middle ground is somewhere between 50 to 60 million. And I think Brighton are gonna demand that to basically get to sell him. Now the biggest question is, and this is also goes for you all, in the chat specifically, would you take him at Arsenal? Because Mitoma, he has a PhD in dribbling and all this stuff. Obviously, our left wing position is the less said than better, especially in the last year and a half, to say the least. And Mitoma, do you see it as an improvement? Because the way I see it, he's an improvement on dribbling-wise, 100% on Martinelli. Overall improvement, he is on Trossard. And if we're going to sign Mitoma, one of them has to leave, which now again brings the big question, who you are willing to sell at the end of the day. And if you ask me, I'm not too sure who I would want to sell. In ideal scenario, we sell both and we sign someone like Rodrigo or someone like that, of course, right? But at the same time, go figure. Although I wouldn't be against Mitoma signing for Arsenal. I'm gonna put it out that way. So let me know in the chat as well, would you take Mitoma at Arsenal? Big up, Gavin. Big up, hope you're doing well today. I see you all over the place in multiple streams as well. Big up to you. But yeah, Mitoma to Arsenal would be an interesting one. Definitely, I think, no matter how you look at it, one way or another, if we sign Mitoma, he would improve our wing options in general, right? Even as a backup for Saka, whatever. But in general, as a left winger, I don't mind signing Mitoma, but as a main guy, for me, he is not it. Like, he's better than Trossard overall, in my opinion. In many cases, he's also better than Martinelli. Martinelli excels on other things, right? But as a complete package, Mitoma is better than both of them. However, saying that, Mitoma, for me, doesn't scream Arsenal starter who's gonna get us over the line. That, for me, is the biggest worry about Mitoma, in that regard, at least. He's better than what we have, but the price tag. Exactly, the price tag is the biggest thing. Because, as I said, a few days ago, there were reports that Bayern Munich could get him for about 30-40 million. 35 to 40 million, something like that. But obviously, there is no Prem tax, none of that jazz. Of course, going to Bundesliga. And in last January, they rejected about 70-80 million bid from Saudi. Which now leads me to believe that the sweet spot to sign Mitoma would be somewhere in the middle, around 50 to 60 million. And if you ask me, 50 to 60 million for Mitoma, if you have opportunity, for example, to sell Trossard or Martinelli and use those 50-60 million plus Martinelli's money to sign Rodrigo, to sign Trincao, to sign whatever, Rafa Leao, players like that, Desiree Doué maybe even, or Barcola, if that comes to tuition, it could make actually more sense. Like, if I look from that point of view. But 50 million, yeah. See, exactly. 50 million seems solid enough. Let's just put it that way. Solid enough. And if Arsenal want at least 50 million for Martinelli, and if we sign Mitoma for 50, we sell Martinelli for 55, 60, it kind of covers and balances each other out, right? So, it's an interesting one, because Mitoma definitely has the upper hand on both of them. Barcola or Mitoma. Ooh. Now, Barcola has more pace, let's be real. He has decent dribbling, but Mitoma feels like, I wouldn't say better, but could be the case. Finishing-wise, Mitoma convinces me more. Although Barcola has very great finishing from outside the box, very decent one in my opinion. But obviously, seeing the miss, he missed against Arsenal when they had a chance at Emirates to put them 2-0 up. Yeah, 2-0 up. And also seeing the miss, he had a chance against Liverpool, even one-on-one, and he scuffed the chances. It raises big questions. Let's just put it that way. Obviously, Barcola is only what? Barcola is what, 23, 24? Barcola is 22 years old only. 22 years old. And Mitoma is obviously 28. Which obviously kind of tilts the weights slightly in favor of Barcola for me. Because, again, this is something... I don't want to compare Gyökeres and Sesko in the same sentence, but you kind of get the point, don't you? You kind of get the point if you ask me. It would be like a 50-50 shot, in my opinion, in that regard. It genuinely would be like a 50-50 shot if you ask me. But I would take Mitoma. That's what I'm going to put out there. He's better than Trossard overall. More consistent than Trossard, if you ask me. And then Martinelli, he has some big advantages. Obviously, Martinelli has his own advantages, but definitely, I've been waffling for way too long, freaking hell. Anyways, Bryan Mbeumo. Apparently, he's been linked, according to Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook, with Manchester United. Apparently. And he's 25 years old, 50 million. And now if you ask me, do I want Mitoma or Mbeumo? Now the going gets a bit different. right? Buemo this season had 20 goals and 8 assists in 38 appearances, which means he wasn't injured for a single game in Premier League. Of course, and 28 points out of 38 games is a phenomenal stat. Let's just say it as it is, playing for Brentford specifically. Buemo together with Wissa, right, have scored together more than half of the goals Arsenal have scored this season as a team, which already says a lot. The biggest issue is, for me personally, it's the way Brentford play. They play a lot of counter, which means lots of open spaces, lots of spaces to run into, and lots of room to maneuver, to dribble, to take on opponents many times and attack them with pace. Unfortunately, Arsenal don't play that way whatsoever, which again puts in a different spin and different perspective in terms of signing Bryan Mbeumo. Don't get me wrong, if we sign Bryan Mbeumo, I would be happy, because that would be the proper backup for Saka. He can also play as a secondary number 9, which would be actually quite great, as a false 9, which Arteta seems to have a weird fetish for, because, let's be real, Jesus is a false 9/winger. Havertz is a forward type of player, which is secondary striker/winger to some extent. He played on a wing for Bayer Leverkusen as well. And yeah, Mbeumo kind of fits that description to a T, doesn't he? To some extent. That for me is the big question marks. How many did he get the season before? Let's look. Mbeumo, let's see. 38 games in Premier League. That's a wild stat. Especially if we compare to Wissa's, right? Now let's see. Previous season, Bryan Mbeumo. 9 goals, 7 assists. That's 16 points in 25 games in Premier League. 16 in 25. Which also doesn't seem too bad. But let's not forget, that season they still had Ivan Toney, didn't they? So that again puts something different spin on these things. They did have, right? Yeah, they had Ivan Toney as well. So he basically bagged 20 plus goals that season. So he kind of took away some of the goals and some of the GA, if you will, from Mbeumo and Wissa. That for me is the other thing, because if I'm not mistaken, Ivan Toney last season, look what Ivan Toney did this season. This season in Saudi League, 29 games, 22 goals, 4 assists. In the Cup, Kings Cup, 1 game, 1 goal. And in Champions League, the Asia Champions League, 13 games, 6 goals, 2 assists. And in the end, they won the Champions League as well. And Arsenal didn't sign him. That's disgusting on its own. He cost them only 42 million euros, which is about 37 million pounds, which genuinely screams disaster, if you ask me, from Arsenal's point of view. Because if we signed Ivan Toney last summer, we would have been in the money. Let's be real, we would. See, where is it? Premier League. Oh yeah, he had the ban. So he had 4 goals, 2 assists in 17 games. So who scored all the goals for Brentford last year? No, last year they struggled, wasn't it? Last year they struggled. Because they didn't have Toney, they had to find alternative and internal solutions. If you know, you know. Wait, Wissa, see? Wissa, 35 games, 19 goals, 5 assists. So together with Mbeumo, they scored 39 goals. Arsenal this season scored 66 goals. If I'm not mistaken. Arsenal scored 69 goals. 69 goals. They scored 39 combined. They scored more than half of what Arsenal scored. So what did Wissa do last year? What did Wissa do last year? Because the goals had to come from somewhere. Let's see what he did last year. 12 goals, 4 assists. Yeah, he was carrying some of the load. Pause. So, I wouldn't say that's bad. Yeah, that's decent. He must be playing from the right more. Yeah, he's playing from the right more. He plays either as a right winger or as a secondary striker through as a false 9, basically. Which, to be honest, if you think how Arsenal could be playing, I think, for example, if we play double striker formation, I think together, for example, Gyökeres and Buemo would be quite fantastic if you ask me. It would be something similar like, for example, what France used to play. When they had Giroud, big tall lamppost, in a way, which would be Gyökeres, and a small technical, quick, agile guy, which in this instance, obviously, instead of Griezmann would be Bryan Buemo. They played obviously 4-4-2. They had Kante and Pogba in the midfield, so we don't have neither of those, so that's a bit different story. But I would, for 50 million, I would say I'd take him. I definitely would take him. According to Nico Shira, sports journalist from somewhere. Sounds like an ITK, but hey, we roll with the flow. You know the vibes. Arsenal have offered a contract until 2030 to Victor Gyökeres. Is this true or not? That's the big question. Is this true or not? That's a 5-year deal, basically, what they have offered him. That actually, 5-year deal, he wants about 200, 250 a week. 57 to 65 million pounds. That actually sounds like a decent deal, doesn't it? Overall, if you come to think of it, that sounds like a decent deal. And I think Gyökeres still is the number one target for Arsenal, in my opinion. That should be the case, right? Yeah, see? According to Gene James, Arsenal are currently in talks with the agents of Victor Gyökeres in order to sign the Sporting striker who has been to the club's primary target since September. So we got gaslit all the time about Sesko, didn't we? He has been offered a contract till 2030. Sporting want of 65 million euros, which is about 54.5 million pound package. Is it just me, or does that sound hella cheap all of a sudden? I swear, Gyökeres started at about 19 million release clauses, and as the season has gone by, his value has decreased by a month. Because then it was 80, then it was 75, then 70, then 65, then 60, and now it's almost 55. His value genuinely by month has decreased. Like, it makes no sense if you ask me. Gyökeres is just, yeah, it feels like no-brainer. It feels like no-brainer, definitely. He had an agreement because he's going to leave earlier than this summer. Yeah, he had an agreement. I think he had with Sporting Gentleman's agreement that he can go for lower value this summer specifically, if he stayed for that 1 year. I totally get that. And to be honest, given that Sporting paid very small amount, if I'm not mistaken, Sporting paid about 20 million for him, something like that. I generally think it was very cheap deal. Yeah, see, 24 million euros, which is what, 16 million pounds? They paid nothing for him, and they gonna quadruple the money as we speak, basically, whether they sell him to us or not. So it actually seems like a very good deal. Very, very good deal, if you ask me. I just hope this is true, because I released a YouTube short and also TikTok, which has gone viral for some weird goddamn reason, but we go with the flow, genuinely. I don't know if you were here or not. I released a TikTok about basically talking about the fact that Arsenal, for all I care, they can sign whoever they want. If it's Sesko, go sign Sesko. If it's Nico Williams, sign Nico Williams. If it's Sokratis Papastatopoulos, go sign Sokratis. And all these. Just do the business before the preseason begins. That's what I said. And it is on 21,500 views somehow on TikTok, which is insane to me. I'm not gonna lie. But hey, I just hope this deal, basically like putting together one on one, this deal goes through as quickly as possible. Genuinely as quickly as possible. Because the longer we drag this on, the longer he stays on the market, the bigger are the chances some other big team is gonna come in and swoop him, somehow. Even though he's our number one target at the end of the day, means nothing. Because if Liverpool managed to sell, for example, Nunez and Diaz in time while we are still dilly-dallying about this deal, as we tend to do quite a bit, if Liverpool comes in, 100% he could go to Liverpool. And now imagine Liverpool signed Florian Wirtz, They signed the wingback, so Kerkez and Frimpong. They have identified their issues. 2 wingbacks, midfielder, creative, and a striker. They need those 4 first and foremost. If they do this already, it's insane. Kerkez, Frimpong, Wirtz, and for example Gyökeres. And if they sign Gyökeres, the season is pretty much over already in the next one. Let's be real. The way Liverpool play, the way Slot plays, if they get someone like Gyökeres, and maybe even Sesko, the season might be over even before it began. That's good, bro. I'm on TikTok also, but I don't always use it. I get it. See, for me, I didn't use it as well. And I didn't also use YouTube Shorts because it's hard for me basically to find time to cut and everything. However, I try to, at the moment, kind of do the streams in a way where I have an opportunity to say something or express something in a way that I basically write down the time and I can instantly cut it out and then make into YouTube short, thus saving, for example, half an hour by searching for it, right? And I basically edit it, make it. It takes about, 5-10 minutes max. And then I upload the same one on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts. And since I have no following in neither of places, pretty much, let's be real. Okay, I have here on YouTube, I have bigger amount of subscribers than compared to obviously on TikTok. They never like crossroads, and it's always new for both. Once I get both on the same level, then I could have some issues. Although maybe not even, because people are gonna watch it either way. Who knows? There's always people who will watch it. That's why I'm already feeling low. Berta needs to do work now. Exactly. We need to do the business as quickly as possible. No beating around the bush. No signing Calafiori levels for a month and a half. No signing Merino for a month, a guy who is on his last year on the contract and everything. You want the player, know the price, get the deal done. Don't undercut, do nothing. Just get the deal done over the line. Because I don't see any other team drag these deals out for like 65 years, unless it's genuinely a top big player, right? And even then, the big clubs somehow manage to do it like, and it's done. Arsenal, I don't know what they're doing half the time. They drag this for so long, by the time we sign the player, the hype in itself for the player we have signed is gone. Like, we dragged this Declan Rice deal out for so long, for example. Okay, cool. It's fun. Nice. We signed Declan Rice, right? Value we can debate upon, obviously. But we signed Declan Rice. It's exciting. It's nice. But can you imagine the dopamine and adrenaline rush we would have gotten if Declan Rice was done, for example, in 2-3 weeks? Not dragged out for for about half a year, what it felt like. Because by the time we actually got him, it was, well, what else is new? And stuff like that. That is one of the most annoying things. Because the excitement I got at the time when we just signed, for example, Özil or Alexis Sanchez, and to some extent even Aubameyang, I haven't had this rush ever again as an Arsenal fan. Because we don't make those signings, and when we do, to some level, we drag this for way too long than it should have been, out way too long. Anyways, our women's team celebrated their Champions League trophy. They won the Champions League, something our men's team have never done. Good job. Anyways, obviously, Win the Dog was there. Lol. But obviously expected. But look at his face. Look at her face. Look at Win the Dog's face. Look at it. Look at it. Look at Win the Dog's face. He looks confused in one picture, and he looks miserable in the second picture. He's overwhelmed by the emotion. He has never been to celebration like this before because, well, we have never won anything as with the men's team. So it was his first time experiencing actually winning, as his name actually stands for. So it's a weird one. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to include this, but I just included it for the sake of including it because it's Arsenal. Let's just say it as it is. What phase is winning? Well, he's actually just winning. He actually won. Well, our women's team won, but well, At least he has been there, he has experienced it. We haven't. That is the nuts part. Big up Mubarak, big up Nabongo, big up. Big up, sir, but I want to know Arteta take time and watch the shows and listen to opinions from fans because needs Joker and... That's, like... Arsenal have... How to say this, actually, I was thinking. Arsenal have a media team. They scout the Twitters, the Instagrams, TikToks, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, MySpace, Hotmail, whatever they scout, right? Sometimes it feels like they're doing it via dial-up, not actual optic fiber and stuff like that, but it's a different story, right? However, they usually look what's trending in Arsenal's fan base. And no matter how you look at it, what's trending in this fan base are mostly top Gunners. And there's an insane amount of top Gunners who much rather would want Sesko over Gyökeres, right? So my hope is that Andrea Berta says everyone to shove it and they sign Gyökeres. That's my hope. That is the biggest team. Arsenal media team all over the place. They see everything pretty much. Obviously, they pay more attention to the biggest accounts, right? Predominantly your AFTVs and stuff like that. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But hey, they have to follow someone. So that's the case. So unless they're going to follow smaller accounts, they're never going to see what we think. Let's be real. Anyhow, some nuts news. Some very insane news. Coming out from Marca. From Madrid Sports News, basically. Madrid Sports News. Apparently, I'm sorry for screaming that word, by the way, Arsenal are the team that is pushing the hardest to sign Julian Álvarez. Interesting. The former Atletico director Andrea Berta knows perfectly what the former Manchester City striker can bring and has put his name among the priorities for the window. Which is quite insane if you ask me. Because he would cost about 80 to 90 million. Because it cost Atletico Madrid about 70 something million to even sign him in the first place. So we would have to pay on the top, right? So the next question is, are we signing, if this is true, right? If this is true, are we signing Gyökeres and Julian Álvarez? Right? That's the next question. And the third question is, how the hell are we going to build our team then? Are we going to play Julian Álvarez on the left wing? Because Julian Álvarez complained at Man City that he has no playing time. Because he was behind Erling Haaland. Atletico Madrid, he has game time, he's doing well, but Sorloth outperformed him, let's be real. He cost 3 times less, but he outperformed him. And I'm not too sure why this is coming from. But for me, this doesn't make any sense unless we do not get Gyökeres. But if we don't get Gyökeres, if we can trust in quotation marks, right? The media, the ITKs, your Pornsteins, Money Romanos, your Kappa Wattses, Sam Mogbelens, and all these guys, right? Sesko is the number 2 option. So where does Julian Álvarez fit in all of this? That for me is the biggest question. Because Julian Álvarez arguably will cost more than Benjamin Sesko. Obviously with Álvarez there's one big advantage. He's Prem proven, we know he can score goals, and he can play also on the wing, sort of. He can, let's just say it as this, he can. Right? So that for me again is the biggest question. How does that even fit into this Arsenal hierarchy at the moment? Exactly, this don't make sense unless we don't get Gyökeres. But then Sesko is the secondary target, isn't he? So that again puts that view, that point, and that reasoning to the bin as well. Like, it's very weird these days, isn't it, as an Arsenal fan? And the worst part is, which is insane, by the way, this is the best thing you can ever imagine. Many Arsenal fans said, we don't want Man City rejects anymore. After Jesus and after Zinchenko, right? If this is true, 100% nobody is gonna scream we don't want Julian Álvarez, because everyone legit is gonna forget that he used to play for Man City. He plays for Atletico Madrid now, which is again very weird. If you don't want Man City rejects, but you want Atletico Madrid players, but this is a player who used to play for Man City, it's again, it's confusing. I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people who said I don't want Man City rejects as well anymore. However, Julian Álvarez is not a Man City reject, is he? He just left because he didn't get enough playtime. And he actually has proven his qualities in Premier League and also La Liga. By the way, what are Julian Álvarez's stats? Just curious. Whatever. I spelled it in He has started 37 played 37 games, 17 goals, 4 assists, 21 points in 37 games. He would cost about 80 to 90 million. But this is the kicker. You see on the right side. This is the big thing. Current transfer rumors: 48% probability of transfer to Liverpool, 37% to Bayern Munich, and 25% to Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to see him at Liverpool. Because the way Liverpool are playing, Alvarez actually will be fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. But hey, would you take him at Arsenal? Question to you all, would you take Alvarez at Arsenal? Big up AFC Vigilante, hope you're doing well today. Everyone's bigging up everyone, big up to everyone. Big up Pepper, hope you're doing well today as well. Now this is for me the big question, because Alvarez, as I said, he has proven himself in Premier League. We know what he can do. He's a very good, very talented player. And he fits Arsenal as well to a T, to some extent, let's be real. Since Arteta doesn't want an out-and-out striker. Alvarez is a striker, but he's a hybrid as well. Something like a winger and striker, but he's obviously like 80% striker, 20% winger. Something like that. Which is actually kind of insane. Would you would you take Alvarez at Arsenal? That for me is the big question. Would you take Alvarez at Arsenal right now? That for me is the biggest question for you all. Would you take Alvarez at Arsenal right now? That's why I'm asking, because personally I would, but that means we are not getting no other striker. Let's be real. We are not getting no other striker in the team. We are not getting anything. Which again is a massive, massive problem to me. Let's be real. Because for me personally, we need 2 strikers. We need the number 1 and number 2 guy. But then again, if we sign Alvarez and he's the number 1 guy, who's going to be the number 2? If we sign Gyökeres, who is going to be the number 2? Havertz. Like that again raises again more questions than gives answers. That for me, like, I don't know. It's very confusing. But there's no argument about the fact that he's a very talented, very good player. And I would love to have him at Arsenal. Let's just put it that way. I absolutely would love to have Alvarez at Arsenal. Big up Boyton, Sesko or bust, mate. Yeah, if you didn't know, Boyton is a massive fan of Benjamin Sesko. And he would love to have Benjamin Sesko at Arsenal. If you didn't know that, by the way. So we have all the dimensions covered. Some people in the chat want Gyökeres, someone wants Sesko. It's very interesting. Genuinely very, very interesting to say the least. But hey, it is what it is. Only time will tell. Of course, only time will tell. Rather, Ivan Toney has Premier League experience. Don't see Alvarez leaving Atletico. Not long got to Madrid. Yeah, that is the biggest thing. That for me is the same question. He just arrived at Madrid. He likes playing there. With Griezmann leaving, by the way, he will have more game time, even more. And I wanted Toney already last summer. Arsenal didn't sign him. Now he's basically won the Champions League in Asia. Tony, he's with Al Hilal, he's scoring left, right, and center. Somehow we didn't sign him. We are another year without a striker, and it's frustrating. Let's just put it that way. It's very, very frustrating to say the least. The incompetence of this management, of this board, and everyone else, especially the manager, it's really starting to get on nerves, isn't it? Big up Eros. Big up Eros. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. We'll end up with none of these players. We'll actually get Ollie Watkins. That would be the most Arsenal thing in the world, wouldn't it? Seriously, that would be. Because Arsenal get linked with, for example, back in the day with Benzema, right? We sign Bentner, Yaya Sanogo. We get linked with N'Golo Kante. We sign Granit Xhaka. And the list goes on and on, doesn't it? Who we were linked with? I forgot. Winger. I don't remember. The year we signed Takuma Asano for the winger / striker position, we were linked with one of the high-end forwards as well. It's Arsenal in a nutshell, isn't it? Maybach music. Sanford signing depth chart: Isak, Sesko, Gyökeres, Alvarez, Samu, Ekitike, Watkins. So you know what's the sad part? Of this list you have put out there, there is a world where Arsenal signed none of them. There is a world. I hope it's not this world. We are linked with Eden Hazard and got Gervinho. Yeah. Well, here we go. Yeah. Gervinho back in the day, the six head. Man, the six head and everything. Exactly, you cannot even make it up. Like, it's actually kind of nuts. Like, Noodles knowing Arsenal like Shama. Or Noodles knowing... Yeah. And Shama. At least Shama scored some goals for Arsenal. Remember the game against Reading, the 7-5? And all that. That was actually one of the most nuts games I have seen Arsenal play in general. Obviously, Emi Martinez, one of the first games for Arsenal, for him in that regard, wasn't the best performance whatsoever, but somehow got the win. Arsenal, the gift that keeps on giving, yeah. Santa Claus settings, daily, day in, day out. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. If we get Mitoma, we are gonna be unreal in about 3 seasons. See, in about 3 seasons. I don't need 3 seasons, I need next season. That for me is another thing. I need the next season. I don't need 3 seasons. That is the second thing. Anyways, enough about transfers. Let's do this. Arsenal, keep, loan, sell. Who is interested in this situation? Since the season is over, we can look at these situations and we can discuss them. Anyways. Give me a sec. Signing Mitoma to me signals that we are all in on the Dauman Vanieri sweepstakes. Could be. By the way, Dauman is playing at the moment for England against Czech Republic. Last time I checked, he scored a goal. Max Dauman has scored 1 goal. Yeah, Max Dauman has scored the first and for now the winning goal against Czech Republic. Porter is also in goal from Arsenal. He's keeping a clean sheet for now. 2 Arsenal players. Looking pretty damn good for now. I'm not gonna lie. Looking pretty damn good. But yeah, it's also nothing great. I'm not gonna lie. It is nothing great. Anyways, Arsenal, keep, loan, or sell. Let's do this. I hate these commercials. Why are you here? Go away. Send feedback. Not interested in this ad. Block all the ads. Anyways. Robo knows, tired of hearing about next seasons here. That is the biggest thing. Always the next season, always this, always that. He needs his own players. It's been 5 years, 750 million. He still hasn't got his own players. So when he's gonna get them at the end of the day? When is that happening? Like, serious talk. When is that then happening? Anyways, let's talk about Arsenal, keep, loan, or sell. Let me move the screen a bit so it looks a bit nicer. Like this. Here we go. Who is ready for this madness? Arsenal, keep, loan, or sell? Ramsdale is out. Why is he here? I have no idea. He's been sold, so we're gonna remove him. Is there anyone else who is still here? King of Zamunda is out. He's already sold. We are not gonna talk about him. Jesus, Marquinhos, Martinelli, Lokonga, Rice, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko. He's leaving, so he's sold already. Vanieri, no Shogard, Savage, Tierney is out already, so he's getting sold. Rest of the guys are here. Let's do this. Rest of the guys are here, so let's do this. Yeah, Tierney. Hi there, Adobe Advert. I suppose Adobe wouldn't be pleased to know that I have pardoned the whole creative suite. Don't say that aloud. You know they're listening to your phones, right? Squad is on his knees just looking at it. Exactly. That's the embarrassing part. Anyways, Karl Hein. Karl Hein on loan at Valladolid. Got relegated with Valladolid. Conceded exorbitant amount of goals. What are we doing with Karl Hein? Are we keeping him? Benching him? Selling him? Loaning him? What are we doing? What are we doing him? Because personally, I would sell him. Promote Porter, promote whatever who have you signed, and just put him. Vigilante sells, Era sells, Big Up Eagle 779, hope you're doing well today, he sells, loan Hein again. So, the question is, how long you gonna be loaning him out for? Because he's either becoming the number one, or he's gonna become nothing at Arsenal. And if we are looking already at potentially signing Juan Garcia from Espanyol, since he doesn't want to move to Barcelona, as recent reports are suggesting and everything, he's never gonna kick a ball. Plus we have Porter, we have, what's the other goalkeeper? Tommy Setford, promoted from the youth team. So Hein is actually never gonna play. Yeah, just bought Setford too, Nygaard from Nordsjælland and everything. Like, what transfer value does Hein have? Okay. Let's look at it this way. Potential value of Karl Hein, 3 million euros. 3 million euros. Let's be real, you're not getting much more than that, are you? 3 million euros. You're not getting much more than that. I think Berta could sell him for about 5 or something like that. Kinda think he could sell him for 5. Doubt Hein sells for much. Exactly. I think 3-5 million and that's done. Loan is pointless. Another year gone of the contract, transfer value will drop. Yeah, when his contract... When does Karl Hein's contract run out? Karl Hein's contract runs out... When? When does his contract run out? He just signed a new deal. He just signed a new deal. His contract was running out at the end of last season. He just signed a new deal. So that's not looking too good, is it? He just signed a new deal. That's crazy that he's even valued at 3 million to some extent. Put him as a backup for good offer, if no good offer comes. So put him in the reserves, but that's the place for Setfords and all these guys, isn't it? So why loan him? Exactly, that's the biggest question. At least it's euros. Would be crazy dubious if it was 3 million pounds. Well, that's what, 1.5 million pounds, 1.8 million pounds, something weird like that. Loan Hein again, number 2. You went to the toilet, or are you saying Karl Hein is number 2? Anyways, I digress. It's a very high number 2. Oh, he wants to toilet, I see. Loan him out? He's never gonna be the main guy. Look what he did at Valladolid. Worst team in La Liga. 31 games, 68 goals conceded, 5 goals a game on average. 2 goals a game on average. Man, quick maths. Best thing is to sell when we can get the full transfer value of it having signed a new contract. That is the biggest thing. I don't see buyers for Hein. I could see people loaning him though. But who is gonna loan him? Like £1.5, £2 million? Like, let's be real, any club can pay that value. If they need a goalkeeper, they will pay, won't they? It's Arsenal as well. Doesn't even matter if Raya is number 1. Yeah, he conceded 2 goals a game. No, well, that's 31 games, 68 goals. If you exclude 5 clean sheets, that's 26 games, so he concedes 2.5 goals per game. Because he had some good games, and then he conceded 7 against Barcelona and teams like that. So it's basically law of averages, which at the end of the day means everything. Have a number 2 who's conceded an absurd amount of goals in the league. No thanks. We had Neto as our backup throughout the season. It's a myth. He didn't even play Neto. That's the biggest thing. Some madman loaned him this season. Gave him 31 games. Yeah, Real Valladolid. Real Valladolid is owned by Ronaldo Nazario, Brazilian Ronaldo. They are having protests for Ronaldo to sell the club as well at the moment in Spain. But I'm gonna sell him. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna sell him. David Raya, I kinda goes without saying, we don't have a better goalkeeper. He's a starter, right? He is the starter goalkeeper. It kinda goes without saying. Italian zucchini. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, Calafiore. And all this stuff. Neto played and he made a gaff that said for Orhan could never... Exactly. That is also the case. He got loved by Danjuma and everything. He tried to save the ball with his hands outside the box. Oh, damn. Sell Calafiore. Damn, you are ruthless. He just joined. Why are you being so toxic and negative? Trust the process, man. Trust the bloody process. What are you doing here? Sell Calafiore. That's 3. Bench Calafiore. I can see that. I can see that as well. For me, the biggest thing about Calafiore is we have Calafiore seen pretty much exclusively as a left back. And we don't like him as a left back. Same went with Zinchenko. We saw him pretty much at left back and we don't like him as a left back. We saw Kivior as a left back and we didn't like him as a left back. When Kivior played center back, it wasn't that bad. Actually, it was decent. When Zinchenko played midfield, his natural position, he also wasn't too bad. Biggest issue with Calafiore is, well, defensively he's a liability, at least as a left back, but he's injury prone. That's the biggest issue. Just the model, sell. I totally get that. He's never available. That is the biggest thing. He's been injured. He's been at Arsenal for 1 year and he's been injured about five times. I heard he's injured again. What? Whoa. Where did you hear that? I would be down for selling Calafiore if I knew for sure we were getting Hatso. Yeah, that is the case. If we were 100% getting another left back, I'm down with that. I'm 100% down with selling Calafiore. In that regard, I'm totally on board with you, Boyten. That I 100% agree. Zinchenko and Kivior should be swapped for Hatso. Calafiore could be swapped for Hatso. But okay. I kind of have a feeling this sell pile is gonna be hella large. Not gonna lie. Gabriel Magalhaes goes without saying, best center back in the team for the last year and a half or so. He goes without saying. So, next one. Jakub the Twerkmaster Kivior. Jakob's Kronung. The coffee man, the twerkmaster, the twerkinator. I'm not gonna lie, I would put him on the bench. This is the big thing. I can sell him, I have no problem with selling him. But if he can do, I would keep him. At the same time, he's right now, everyone sell ASAP. You know we have no defenders if you sell him. Everyone wants to sell. Everyone wants to sell Kivior. I totally get that. Bench the Kiwi. See, I would be inclined to that as well. Sell his ass. Hey, yo. You cannot say that. That is sexist. Peppermint, by the way, in DMs on Twitter sent me a video of how Kivior spends his free time, by the way. Kivior spends his free time filming his girlfriend twerking on the floor. Seriously. Peppermint sent me that video. I was genuinely in shock. This is the highest Kiwi's value will ever be. That is the biggest argument for selling him. This would be the biggest thing. How much is Kiwior worth, technically? We all know that there was a report from transfer.com or whatever that dumbass website was, that Arsenal wants 60 million for Kiwior. Something stupid like that. 22 million euros. We bought him for 19.5. Probably could sell him to Italy, to Lazio or AC Milan or Napoli for about 30 odd million. That would be about 10 million profit. I can get behind that. Pause. I can get behind that. And he wants a pay rise. Hey, he wants a pay rise. No thanks. Kiwior master twerk cameraman. Exactly. Kiwi living his best life with the twerking. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Saliba, I'm keeping. I'm sorry. Saliba, I'm keeping. Like, unless about 80, 90, 100 million at least come in, I'm not selling him. Genuinely not selling him. Not selling him whatsoever. Saliba is a must keep. And the biggest thing is, we must win something next year. Premier League or Champions League. Because if we don't, Saliba is gone. Then it's pretty much confirmed that Saliba will be gone. Think about it. Saliba will be gone if we don't win anything next season. Just, it is what it is. See, everyone wants to keep unless 90 plus million. Exact 150 for Saliba knows. 300 million, dude. Who's offering 600? It's like Nuno Tavares. He's getting sold to Lazio, so he's out. Nuno Tavares is out 100%. Sorry. I cannot breathe, which is really pissing me off. So Nuno is sold. He has the Lazio will trigger his obligation clauses to buy, apparently. He is getting sold. That is an obligation. I'd sell Nuno anyway. Yeah, exactly. If I'm not mistaken, he's going to Liverpool, fucking hell, to Lazio for about 8-9 million, and there's a 25% sell-on clause in case. Big up AFC always. What terrible scenes at Liverpool. Parade, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, exactly. That moron who did that thing is just absolutely needs to be jailed forever. Obligation already is triggered, exactly. Yuri and Timber. Yuri and Timber. What are we saying about Timber? Main right back for the next season? Starting right back for next season, right? He is the starting right back for next season, right? For everyone. It's not just me, right? Keep, exactly. Keep, exactly. Everyone wants to keep Timber. Takehiro Injuriyasu. Injuriyasu. No Niyasu. Not available Yasu. Disappear Yasu. However you want to call him. Sushi Yasu. That sounds a bit mad. Never mind. Anyways. Basically, Tomiyasu at Arsenal is a sell. And he basically is like the mystic tales of a Sasquatch. Or the Loch Ness Monster. Or something like that. Or the Yeti. He technically could exist, but we are not sure. It's always with mysteries surrounding him. Who's that? See? Timber starting 11, 100%. Bench Joey Essex. That's Ben Tan, right? Has anyone found him yet? There were some pictures with him, by the way, with Arsenal. No idea who that is, so I guess when he's found, get rid. Exactly, he's like John Cena. You can't see him. So, Benny Blanco, Ben Tan, Solar Bed Benny, Tanning Salon Benny, basically. I don't watch football outside Arsenal Benny, by the way. He doesn't watch football outside the training, so he's getting benched. I'm keeping him. Bench as a center back, get Diana for free. I don't want Ben White as a center back whatsoever. If I see him as a center back, I'm genuinely gonna pull a Tomiyasu and disappear. He's so shocking there, but like it's actually kind of nuts. I'd sell wide, but we need defensive cover. His knees are finished after the surgeries. We'll see. We'll see. He has time to recover finally. He's also not going to the Tuchel England call-up as well because he has a kid and everything. He's apparently like Odegaard. He has to breastfeed him or something. He's not the same right back. He's not. Especially since Timber has come back from ACL and has outdone him in every way, shape, or form as well. Which is nuts. Okay. Bart Simpson. The politician who has written a book about something rather. About his career, which he is only 9 years old, he's still young. Zinni. You know what I 100% can guarantee you the whole chat is saying sell. 100%. See? Hurry up and sell Bart Simpson. I get it. Let me propose you this. We never play Zinchenko as a left back ever again, but he plays midfield. Would you keep him then as a backup, as a bench player? In that situation. If he never plays left back again, but he is a backup midfielder, number 8, not number 10, number 8 more precisely. Would you keep him then? I get that he's on 150 a week and all this stuff. I get it. But would you keep him then? Obviously, there's interest from Borussia Dortmund, although it has gone dead quiet at the moment, so we don't know. Bench for midfield, keep Calafiori. Oh, bloody hell. There will be big up Colonel, some uncomfortable discussions. If he played midfield, maybe. See? Sell Zinchenko. See, people are very divided on Zinchenko, which is very interesting. Personally, I want him gone, I'm not gonna lie. Zinchenko will be like a new signing if they kept him as a midfielder. Yeah, he's better in midfield, but still sell. Yeah, that is the biggest thing. In Arsene Wenger's voice, oh, it's like a new signing. Dude, it's insane. Genuinely insane. Bart Simpson. Oh, the Simpsons. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, not gonna lie. I said The Simpsons and sung the Powerpuff Girls theme song. Allow me. It's tired, I'm late. So, we're selling, right? Miles Lewis Skelly. That's a keep. I think Skelly goes without saying that it's a keep. Easy. Genuinely easy, guys. Easy. Miles Lewis Skelly is a keep 100, right? Skelly goes without saying. Exactly. It's tired. I'm late. What do you mean? Keep. Okay. Vanieri. Keep, right? Keep Vanieri. Oh, the next one will be nice. We are keeping Vanieri. Okay. Mosquito guard. No-show guard. Pillow foot. Hair flick, snot guard, Gibraltar guard, solar guard. The guy who is tired because he has a kid and he has to breastfeed him every single day. What are we doing with Martin Odegaard? By the way, off topic a bit. Odegaard scored a goal, right? Against Southampton. Looks like he has found his level, right? It looks that way. The thing is, I saw some top gooners on social media say, oh, Odegaard shaved his face, it looks so smooth and everything. Finally, he has got his power back. Not gonna lie, nearly threw up when I was reading that. Kid you not, nearly threw up when I was reading that. Bench MLS. Well, bench and starting 11, it's a very vague situation because it's the same, basically. They're gonna rotate either way. Keep Kiwi, he's a good rotational player. We had this discussion. We had these, like, it's insane. People want everyone gone. It's a dictatorship by the chat today. I blame the chat, by the way. It's your fault. Sell, get out, hurry up and get out. Sell his ass, get rid, get him out. Keep on the bench. He has C. 6 guard. Okay, let's move on. Arteta never trusted Kiwior in the rotation, so he had to be good rotation. So he can't be exactly. Oh, C-section scar. Okay, now I get it. Take holidays during season, a joke of player the captain. Loan Odegaard. Who you gonna loan him to, by the way? Yeah, I saw that. I mean, this fan base is tapped. Genuinely, it is. C-section. Yeah. It's tired, I'm late. Chill. If we are getting hot, so MLS will be benched even at left back. I get it. Maybe MLS is gonna play in the midfield. Maybe he's gonna be in the midfield, MLS. Who knows? Loan Odegaard. Yeah, we're gonna loan Odegaard. We're gonna loan him straight back to Faroe Islands. Sociedad may take him back. For what? They have nothing to give to us. Although Yarzabal wouldn't be the worst one. Thomas Partey. We keeping? Thomas Partey. We keeping? Thomas Partey. I would keep Thomas Partey. I would personally keep Thomas Partey. I will personally place Odegaard one away ferry to Bergen. Yeah, see, everyone wants to keep Partey. That is nice to see. Everyone wants to keep sell Partey. Oh my lord, Boysen doesn't want him here. Keep him and stuff and play him right back. Well, look on the bright side, Deros. We actually finally fucking won a game with Partey as a right back. Took us 8 attempts to win 2 games with Partey as a right back, but at least we got there. 25% win rate. Sounds about right, our win rate this season in general, but it's a bit different story there. Declan Rice. Bismati, Rice, Declan, Couscous. I assume it's a keep either way in the starting 11. What? Southampton? What do you mean? He was at right back when we played Fulham and we lost to them and we drew to them against 10 men. Look, genuinely, what do you mean even? He wasn't really there though. Yeah, he was inverting from the right. Exactly. Yeah, he wasn't there. Anyways. The Belgian Yaya Toure. Albert, Sambi, the Bambi, Deer, Lokonga. What are we saying? Starting 11? As the number 6? Or what? Or are we going hunting Wabbits and sell him? We're still in the... See ya. That move. Okay. We sell as soon as get rid. See? Everyone's quite unanimous on this. Okay, moving on. Fabio Vieira. Shouldn't have the name as the Patrick, but it is what it is. Fabio Vieira, we selling? Fabio Vieira, sell. Definitely get rid. Okay. You realize what you're doing? You're selling half the squad, right? You all are selling half the squad straight down the river. At this pace, Win the Dog will actually have to play at striker, and we will have to make Mikel Arteta come out of retirement and play in the midfield. We are going in that direction, by the way. Well, that's true. Half the squad is trash, but it is. Win for the Golden Paw. What? You don't know this movie? Buddy plays soccer. Air Bud. You don't know this movie? He plays rugby, he plays soccer and everything. He even plays volleyball, by the way. He even plays volleyball and basketball on top of that. What do you mean, guys? Win the Dog is very, very multi-talented. What are you on about? I didn't see the last game. They had Partey inverted at right back. Yeah, he inverted a bit. Yeah, he inverted. Next season, Win the Dog winning at everything. Exactly. First parade in his career as well. We know our men's team is not going to provide that. Okay. Donkey Kai Havertz. Donkey Kai Havertz. What we saying, people? We selling Donkey... Get out of me, swamp, donkey. We selling him or what? Big up, Hendon. Hope you're doing well. Big up. Definitely get rid. Okay, here we go. Everyone, yeah. Sell the donkey. Get him out of Arsenal. It's very unanimous on like 99% of the players. It's actually kind of insane. It's actually very hard to have people agree so much on certain things in life, but somehow Arsenal signing and selling players, it's quite unanimous in most of the situations. He should have started, sell Havertz, he should have started there. Gabriel Jesus, that's a sell, right? Gabriel Jesus is a sell. Havertz, we are selling. Marquinhos, we're selling, right? Reece Nelson, we're selling. I'm putting him there already. Butler Oyedeji, by the looks of things. He is leaving for free, by the way, at the end of the season. Bukayo Saka, we are selling, right? Just kidding. If you really thought I'm selling Bukayo Saka, you're a madman. So we have basically come down to the last two players. James has to go, get rid. What movie dragged me to hell? Yeah, sell. That's Sagoy Jr. No, man, sell him as well. He's not leaving, by the way. Sagoy Jr. I'm loaning out. Sorry, it looked like Butler or Yadeji, my bad. Loan him out. Loan Sagoy Jr. out, why not? Great business by Arsenal again. Yeah, it's working fine. We never got to see Sagoy Jr. aside from one cup game. Exactly, so loan him out. Damn, that sell spot just keeps bigger. It does. That's the biggest thing. Okay, last two players. The Brazilian speedboat without a driver and Stella R drunken Belgian Trossard beer. Who we're selling, who we're keeping. I assume one of them is getting... Sell both. Oh my god. Hurry up and leave. Both of them. Stella R, Panda Trossard. And Martinelli, I don't have an impression besides missing the net. I keep Martinelli, but you might as well flip a coin or even sell both. That is with both to some extent, let's be real. Sell both, sell both. Yes, oh my goodness gracious. So, okay. Let's do it this way. You're gonna sell Trossard. And Martinelli is undecided. Let's just put him in, I don't know, reserves. I don't know. Because we are not signing two left wingers this market, so we kind of have to keep one. So let's keep Martinelli for a change. Reserves. That sounds about right, doesn't it? With his finishing ability, wouldn't be surprising. I would replace Trossard with Mitoma, replace Martinelli with Williams Gittens, but Arsenal aren't such... They're not. They're not. We all know how that sell is gonna be still here next season. That is the sad part to a massive extent. But you know what? Let's keep him on the bench for now. But look at this. If we exclude the first two players, Ramsdale, Haramsdale, and King of Zamunda, who just won the FA Cup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... 16 players we're selling. Out of the 25-man squad. 16, we are 9 players left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 players we have left out of 27. 11. We barely can complete the starting 11 for the next season. Looking good, isn't it? Looking very good. Look at that bench. Do we even have a starting 11? Well, we have goalkeeper, 2 center backs, a right back, a left back, a number 10, a number 8, a number 6, and a right wing. We don't have a striker, left wing, and we don't have and someone else. Right, we don't even have a starting 11. Exactly. We don't have starting. This team is on its knees. This shows how poor the squad Arteta has built. Exactly. 750 million spent. Oh, but he needs his own players. These are his own players, by the way, besides Saka, Martinelli, Partey, and that's it, by the way. Those 3 players are Emery's signings. Saliba, Saka, and Martinelli. Those 3 are Emery's signings. Rest of them are Mikel Arteta's signings, by the way. So, says a lot, doesn't it? This squad stinks, Jesus Christ, that they want to give Arteta more money. Exactly. After $750 million spent, we are in this situation you're seeing in front of the screen according, well, to us. Let's just put it that way. Right? Says a lot, doesn't it? Says genuinely a lot how we have spent our money and what we think of the squad. Yet then Mikel Arteta says he's a genius and a Gandhi, basically. He has solved the world hunger because we finished second. To be honest, based on this situation, kind of get it. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like that. At the same time, he has bought all the players, so that's his fault, let's be real. BRF would have made this bench 100%. Florin Balogun would have made this bench. Omari Hutchinson, Aiden Heaven, Chidobe Martin, Emil Smith-Rowe. 6 players. All squad done. Those 6 players, if we had, we would be golden. Think about it. This squad genuinely is like graveyard shift at work when you work night shifts. ESR, Willock, exactly, they all make it. That says a lot, doesn't it, at the end of the day? That genuinely says a lot. Which is nuts, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, guys, I think on that note, I'm gonna wrap it all up. So, thank you guys so much for being here. If you were not at the beginning of the stream, thank you so much for all the subscribers, for all the chats, all the likes, everything on YouTube Shorts, on TikTok, by the way, on everything. Thanks to you, we are over 500 subscribers, which means YouTube actually have monetized my channel, which you kind of can get, obviously, which is all thanks to you. Genuinely never thought I would be in this spot. Road to 1000 has begun. Let's see where this brings us. I really hope we can hit 1000 subscribers before the start of next season. So if you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe, check out the YouTube short I uploaded today. If you want, you can go check out TikTok as well, Mr. Robo19 TV, and all this stuff. Big up every time. Big up Eras. Big up. I remember when you had like 40 subs, dude. Those were the days. Those were the days. Big up AFC Vigilante, big up Pepper, Eras, Boyton, Hughes, Vigilante, AFC always was here, Eagle. I know there were Gavin was here, Hendon Gunnar was here. Big up everyone. Big up to you all. You keep going, Robo. You are articulate and speak facts. Big up Eras, big up. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, for today, I am signing out. So take care. See you all tomorrow. Not sure what tomorrow is gonna bring, but see you all tomorrow. Take care, stay safe, enjoy your Tuesday, and, well, let's hope Arsenal signs someone in very, very short time, hopefully tomorrow.